Let's talk about scapular protraction and retraction. During this motion, the scapula moves towards and away from each other. This movement looks quite simple to perform, but is actually difficult for most people. Most of us in today's society have tight chest muscles that pull our shoulders into a protracted position. This is often caused by being in a slouched position at a desk at school or work. Very few of us actually escape it without conscious effort. Because we're in a protracted position for so long, these interior muscles become tight. Then they do not relax and allow our scapula to retract. The movement is simply not possible anymore, especially if we don't make conscious effort to retract our shoulders consistently. Luckily, this is reversible, starting by foam rolling the scapular retractors, which are the pectoralis major, pectoralis minor, and serratus anterior. Though the serratus anterior often does not cause this dysfunction, it's a good idea to foam roll it anyways, since it's full of trigger points. Of course, foam rolling is not enough. We must stretch these muscles and strengthen the scapular retractors. How do we strengthen these scapular retractors? By simply performing the movement. Exercises such as the face pulls, rows, and tees are useful to train the individual to teach them how to retract their scapula. The most common mistake clients make while protracting and retracting is rounding their spine and extending it while performing the mentioned scapular movements. Rounding the spine is also called spinal flexion and is simply the act of slouching. This is the easiest way to visually see the movement. Extending the spine is the act of arching or puffing your chest up like a rooster. Most novice trainees have difficulty protracting the shoulders while not slouching. The method I use to teach my clients to learn how to remedy this is by having them lay on the ground facing up. The head, mid-back, or thoracic spine and glutes are touching the ground. Make sure there is some space between the lumbar spine and the ground equal to the distance of a flat hand. This position will be a neutral spine. From here, reach both hands up towards the ceiling while maintaining the 3 points of contact in the hand-sized distance between the lower back and the ground. Reach towards the ceiling as if you're trying to touch it. As you're reaching, pay attention to if the position of your spine has shifted. Video footage is best, since I've had incidents in the past where clients believed they were not changing the position of their spine, but they actually were. Rounding the mid-back, or slouching in this position, will flatten the lower back to the ground in this situation. Once you become familiar with this, switch to the wall. Then, finally, remove the wall and try it on your own. I would like to emphasize again that a neutral scapular position is ideal for rowing movements, but we will explore scapular retraction beyond a neutral scapular position at times. The additional movement of protraction and retraction during exercises such as a row is earned. In my training app, it has its own exercise variation, which is signified with quote plus. A typical row, we will maintain a neutral scapular position the entirety of the exercise, but if you see the term plus, only then would I like you to pair the movement with scapular retraction and protraction. We want our bodies to be strong in all positions. A fully retracted or a protracted shoulder is one of these positions. Now, let's acknowledge the most common mistake made by performing scapular retraction. As mentioned earlier, clients often puff up their chest like a rooster while performing this movement. There's two problems to this. One, often, clients would retract their scapula to a neutral position, and then puff their chest and extend their thoracic spine, thinking it's their scapula that is moving. Let's look at the difference between full range of scapular retraction with thoracic extension, and only retraction to neutral with thoracic extension. They look very similar, but notice the space between the spine of the scapulas. 2. Learning how to isolate the scapula's movement while maintaining a neutral spine is crucial for our success. For some clients, I will have the specific variation of scapular retraction with thoracic extension, but this is dependent upon the individual and what their body needs. So please look at the exercise's name and look for if it states, quote, with thoracic extension. Otherwise, we are looking to isolate the scapula during the exercises we are performing. If you see an individual performing a push-up like this in the gym, we would quickly spot that something is wrong. Yet, when we perform a row in this manner, where we pair scapular retraction with thoracic extension, we see no problem with it. Retract and maintain a neutral spine position.